ReCollection. If you're not familiar with it, is the show where I take my video game collection and as I rebuild it, one cartridge and disc at a time, share it with you. So today we're taking a look at the seminal classic Battletoads slash Double Dragon. A very rare NES game, 1993 release. It's a funny thing when the NES was at its peak, 89, 90, 91, just a vast number of releases. But the moment the SNES hit market, the number of NES games that came out just drastically reduced. And so in 91, you had a flood of games, but by 93, it had slowed to a trickle. This is one of the very good ones. Let's see. Oh, people are congratulating me on some stuff. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Dr. Dash. Thanks, Frank. That's kind of you. I appreciate that. So let's head on in here and see what this game is all about. Now we're going to play it straight through without any codes or anything right now. Now this is a classic rare game, which means it's viciously difficult and evil. It's not quite as difficult as the original Battletoads, but we're going to get we're going to get our butts handed to us. It doesn't look hard. The problem with these games is the moment you make one mistake, very often you just find yourself you do a routine thing, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I'm dead. So let's leap on in here to the game. All right, we're going to play one player because it's just me here right now. And I have 5 choices here: Rash, Zitz, and Pimple, or Billy and Jimmy Lee. Poll. Hello, Dave Brander. How you doing there, man? How's Brexit? I'm assuming that's Dave. I think that's Brexit, Dave. Guys, who should I choose? First one to answer decides it. First one to answer decides who I choose. Who are we going to be? Who will be our avatar? Oh, Pimple is first. Thanks, Big. All right, we're going to be Pimple. Big old frog. All right. We're going to leap in. And here we have some very nice outer space graphics. So the NES was capable of, in most cases, oh, it's a Bobo. He's going to beat me up. All right, well, that's a threat. By the way, if you've never had the opportunity to play Obobo's Great Adventure, the homebrew game, it's freaking amazing. So right away, this game, very, very straightforward and in pure rare style, starts right off with an auto-scrolling that leads me up onto the deck of the spaceship. Oh, guy comes from off screen to hit you. That's where they'll get you. You really want to stay in the middle of the screen, except the main way to get pummeled in this game is if they come up on both sides of you. So it's actually kind of a a catch-22, and that's how you end up taking damage in these. Now I am not even going to glean for those. I forget how you even get those, but I don't want them. Oh yeah, like that. Unfortunately, I missed that. There we are. So we come up here, punching a dude in the face. That's fun. We got these little energy pellets and this. Oh, the thing shot me. I beat it up. I love the little animations. So the NES was really at its technical zenith at this point. You could do almost anything that you wanted within the parameters of, wow, that's a useless sentence. You could do almost anything within some established parameters. They had pushed the hardware just about as far as it would go. And so this is an era where having a lot of things on screen, having multiple animations, larger ROMs allowed you to do more of that kind of stuff. Different chipsets allowed you to do some tricks, but you were still limited by that base 16 colors out of 56 palette at any one time on the screen. There were a limited number of sprites you could see, although you could use tricks to get around that. And so what they do here, if you look, you're going to occasionally see flicker when I get too many things on one horizontal line. The the number of sprites on the screen was just as important as the number of sprites on a horizontal line. The way that the NES draws tiles and sprites, if you get too many things in the same, like across the screen horizontally, that's where you start to get flicker. Vertically is less important, and that all has to do with the way the NES draws. If you want to know more about that, there's an amazing book called I Am Error. And while it's technical, it's very smartly written to be eminently readable despite its deep technical discussions on the NES chipset. It's also a great book on game design. So you see there, I can do like a shoulder bounce, and I can double tap, but I've still only got the two buttons on the NS controller. So there's only so many things I can do. Different enemies I can do different moves on, like that guy I can pick up, but it is at its heart a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Here's a kind of a little mini boss, and what I want to do is get him stuck in the ground so that I can come over and hit him every time. Now he's going to shoot those little balls at me out of the fan. I really do love a lot of Rare's NES output. Snake Rattle and Roll, one of the most underrated games of the platform, genuine classic. Battletoads, I think, is a great game. Double Dragon is not a Rare game. This is a crossover event between Rare and Technos, who made Double Dragon. But you can see already, looking at my life bar up top, I just lost a life. The squares represent my life bar, and the hearts are my number of lives. So if I were being smart, I would use the 10 life code so I could show you more of the game. But I kind of wanted just to jump right in and give you a feel for about how far somebody just leaping in can get on their own. I do have jump attacks I can do as well, but against this boss they're useless, so I'm not going to show those off yet. The main thing is getting him to go down. You watch his shadow. That's the key. Oh, he's really nailing me. Get underneath him here. And then one more ought to do it. Kind of the magic number in old video games, 3 dodges. It's a lot of fun to play this game with a friend. Uh-oh. Here comes a Bobo. Now, again, for an NES animation, this is pretty darn great. So we're going to get up there and do a combo on him. I'm going to leap in the air to try to get above his punches and head for that head hitbox. Because if I can get that first hit in, I can get him in a stun animation. So by jumping over his fists, you see what I'm doing there? And a lot of 8-bit bosses were this way. They had only 1 or 2 weaknesses. So this allows me to hit a Bobo without getting the crap beaten out of me. There's an old rule I think is true that in old brawlers, anything before the 16-bit era, and a lot of arcade brawlers, if you jump kicked, that was the path to victory. So I'm going to come over here and kick him off. Look, I got the big boot effect. It's so cute. And then he falls out the background. Isn't that adorable? Oh, somebody bringing up Cobra Triangle. Yep, that's right. Ah, love that. Oh, the boss here. Somebody said I haven't played this in ages. Oh, thanks so much for the kind words there. Dave says at Brexit, today's march had over 1 million people. Uh, well done, Dave. Oh, we're right back in the game here. Okay, so now classical double dragon style. Look, I'm going to beat this guy into the floor. Now that guy was very sweet. He just stood back there and watched me beat his friend into oblivion. But they're not going to do that for long. So I want to get up here. Oh, well, actually, I didn't really need that. I probably should have saved it. Oh, well, there's some extra life I don't really need that I probably could have used later. Some points. Can't remember if points do anything in this game. Does anyone know? And obviously, this game had other ports. It was available for SNES. It was available, I believe, in one version for Genesis. Oh, I love this enemy. You beat him up and use his legs as a weapon. He's from the original Battletoads. Oh, I'm going to do a sidekick. Okay. This is the problem. I got a guy on either side of me here. We do not want to. This is how you get your butt kicked. Right there. Look at that. All over. Like I said, one mistake and it's over with. I let dudes get on both sides of me. And if you do that, let's pick up his leg and use any game where I can pick up someone's limb and beat them to death with it, or beat others. Look at that. This is fun. So just simple little animations like that make a what amounts to a button mashing brawler that much more fun. There is a strategy to Battletoads. That strategy is mostly don't let people get behind you and don't lock yourself into certain animations with one character if another character is nearby. So you try to use your agility to stay at a safe distance from some. I dropped my weapon out of terror there. Now what I'm supposed to do here is, I believe, grab the dynamite and throw it back. But that requires... Yeah. So, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Got that guy one time. And that's what keeps this from being just another brawler. Oh! I got wounded. Oh, shoot. Let's go get these life bars here. away. Get away from that. Okay, got him twice, and if it's a typical video game thing, then 3 times is enough. But there's constantly changing up what you do here. Battletoads did that really well too. It had these really creative stages where you're fighting a boss and suddenly you're seeing through the boss's eyes, or we may talk about how hard those stupid racing bikes are, but they were there to break up the action. I feel like in this game it's a little better balanced earlier in the run. Also, they're pretty generous with one-ups. I've grabbed 3 1-ups during this. Now, when you're playing with friends, that doesn't go as far. This one's also better designed around playing with friends. There's less of that like utter. Now watch that. Oh, I missed a chance to show you something. Hopefully after I beat these guys up, we'll see it. But if you look very carefully, you're going to see parallax scrolling. This is one of the very few examples of parallax scrolling on an American NES. Look at that. You see how, if you look at the top of the screen, you're going to see it's scrolling at a different rate than the rest. Watch. See that? And the bottom also. That's parallax scrolling. The NES cannot natively do that. That is sorcery going on. There are Famicom carts that do it pretty well, and there's a few examples, but not many. So right there, what you are just witnessing is pure magic, probably enabled by custom chipsets and clever programming together. I think that's a little bit of trickery and some of the late chip stuff that could do that. So we're going to knock this guy over here. There's always something happening in Battletoads v Double Dragon. Not a lot of it. See, there's that parallax scrolling again. I'm going to save that in case I get beaten up. It's not very rewarding and tactile about just flipping these guys up, and then kind of more and more. And here comes a dude. You ever wonder why dudes in video games just keep coming? Like, at this point, if you had watched every other identical dude that looked just like you get his butt whipped, why would you come running in? Just once, I want to play a game where they all run away. Oh, here comes another one of those guys. There's the leg monster. I like the leg monster. He's cute. All right, let's see. I'm going to move this way. I really don't need that. So, oh, that's that guy again. Good. I've got some extra life here in case I screw up. Because the dynamite does, take quite a bit of life off you. So there's one. And we'll go ahead and grab that. Probably going to regret that in a second. Oh, totally going to regret it. There we are. Get away from that blast. Yeah, we can do this. So, oh no! Oh, that was poor timing on my part. And much more poor timing, and there I lost a life. So this is not that hard, and here I am dying. Yeah, it's performance anxiety, y'all. See, this is what happens when you stream. That's what happens when I stream. I'm not a particularly gifted streamer. I like the medium. I think it's a very interesting way of examining games and telling stories. But I am always done better with scripting. I think it's maybe because at heart I'm a writer, and scripting is about writing something and having a pretty good idea of what you're going to tell people. Performance writing, but I do find there's something, I don't know what's going to happen here. I can't predict this. And there's something fun about that. Let's see what we get here. Oh, I actually forget what that thing does. Oh, get down there. It is, no, I wanted that. I did not mean to go into that elevator. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, you see it. Oh, by the way, you notice how the toad blinks? Isn't that cute how Pimple blinks? Yeah, I like the idea that they're more scared than the boss of us, says Wild Stallion. Are you emulating this, or is it actual NES? I am playing this off actual hardware. I'm playing it off an actual cartridge, but I'm playing it on a Retron 5, which is an HDMI emulator, so halfway there. The Retron 5 emulates games, but I am playing off an original cartridge. The Retron grabs the ROM off my cartridge, puts it in here, upscales it, makes it pretty so that you can play it on a 1280 by 720. It's a pretty good way to stream. And I get to use an original NES controller with the Retron. Hi, Zexos. How you doing? Man, somebody love that Cobra Triangle. All right, we're gonna leap. We're gonna leap on the bikes here. Get ready to watch me die. You ready for that? We all know in Battletoads that when a bike appears, the game is over. So we've reached the end of Battletoads v Double Dragon right here. All right. I may not talk as well while I'm riding this bike and dying. Let me know what your all-time favorite Rare games are. I was talking about some of mine. My all-time favorite video game is Rare's port of Sid Meier's Pirates to the NES, which was done in 1991, published by Ultra Games, which became Konami. Now, this is fun. Instead of things killing me on the bike, there are rewards. Look at that. Wait, perhaps death is not imminent. Oh, yes it is. Behold death, destroyer of worlds. If you've played the original Battletoads, you know the horror that I'm feeling right now. But I do feel like this game really is deliberately much more forgiving. It's the same challenge. Also, oh, that effect. Did you see how it went from 3D under me? Watch those posts. Oh, attacked from behind. Yep, see, like I said, this game, not hard until it is. You make one mistake, and you've suddenly died on a bike twice, 3 times. And there, it's practically game over. I'm just trying to hit this guy. Look at that. And that's that. That's right. So here I am at the bike part again. Yep, I told you I was going to die. Oh, it's so terrible. Let's see. All right, let's pop on the bike. No, it's not actually the end, guys. It's just the end of me because I'm very bad at Battletoads v Double Dragon and the Rocket Bike sections of any of these games. It really is beautiful. Look at the way the floor on this one gives you that 3D effect. You see how the angle's changing? I mean, the NES just should not be able to do that. That is some freaking wizardry. Whoever programmed this game, look at those. Look at how they change angle under me. The track from, you see the little shift in the bars and that is not possible. All right, now this guy's going to come up behind me. Okay, so I want to get, if I hit him first, there we go. All right. Ah, there we go. No, oh, if he puts me in a stun lock, it's all over. Oh, it's so mean. If he gets one hit in first, it is over. No. Okay. Oh wait, I jumped and got out of it that time. I hate it so much. The game is so good, and then there's bikes, stupid bikes. I'm dying on them. Stupid. No, don't stop hitting me. I don't like it. This is dumb. Ah! No! It's a very difficult British video game. And then how was I Oh! Ah! So hard! Alright, we're gonna try this again. Doesn't look hard. Looks easy. Not easy. Let me tell you what. Try to get that jerk that comes up behind you. The fact that the most dangerous enemy in this game is just like a minion on a bike. Goodness. At least the obstacle course isn't as rough on this with the instant kills, but so this guy's going to come up behind me after the next jump. It's almost like a racing game. You practically have to memorize it, and then you just hope you hit him first. You just kind of got to attack him. Just don't wait for him to get to you. Come at him, and then he does that, and it doesn't matter. Ah! Okay, how many of these guys are there? We need to keep count or something. Okay, no, and then dead. Just not okay. Not okay. So the Britain in the 80s and 90s had this tradition of extraordinarily difficult game design. It was a point of pride for a lot of the developers to build these really brilliantly difficult games. And they're engaging and beautiful and amazing, but they're also punishing. I've listened to some podcasts about this and read some, and there's an indication that in the early 80s, Britain was, oh, crap, wrong button. Britain was kind of in an economic downturn, and so people wanted a lot of value from their games. Well, there's a giant evil rat. All right, we're going to try to take him on like we did a Bobo and see how that works out. Follow the theory that you always jump kick in every brawler ever to get over the attack. So far, by jump kicking, we have taken no damage. Again, jump kicking is king. We're not actually kicking, but you get the idea. Jumping into the attack. All right, there we go. Anyway, a lot of British game players in the early 80s, their games came on cassette tape for their home computers because home computers were where the British video gaming market really lived in the early 80s. And then from that tradition, the games were often designed to be very difficult because, a kid didn't have a lot of money maybe, and he was going to run out and just grab, try to get a lot of value, a lot of replay out of a game. And so that tradition of very difficult games sort of became a cultural thing after a while that extended beyond that period of recession. And Brits just grew up expecting and playing difficult games. That is one of the theories behind it. And I think, oh no, oh no. Please just die, big rat monster. I do not. Oh. I do not want to replay that racing course. I am on my last life. I just want to get back to showing you all the game as far as I can before I die. Just die. Stay dead. There we go. That's right. That's how it's done. Ninja Turtles got nothing on me. All right, we got some stuff going on here in the chat here. Thanks again, folks, for the kind words that I'm getting on other things. Genesis Pirates Gold, I do love that version. Nah, Pirates Gold's good. Solar Jetman, what a great game. Oh my gosh. Yep, I'm totally with you on Solar Jetman. Someone's going to use my butts as targets practiced. Bloodborne, that game is difficult too. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to pause. I know I'm not supposed to pause in the middle, but it's the only way in these old games to read all the comments. So, let's see, what do we have here? Let's see. Yep. Anybody else got a comment in there? By the way, I want to thank you all for watching. All right, we're going to fight. Here's Linda. Linda tore me up. So Linda's a character from the original Double Dragon. And Linda just made me very dead. So we're on my last continue here. Call yourselves the ultimate team. Don't make me laugh. So yeah, this is ReCollection, like I said earlier. Oh, I was done. No continues left. Battletoads has destroyed me. Oh my goodness. Oh wait! Is this JD? Hi JD. JD sold me this cartridge. Hi JD. He's in the chat. The guy that sold me this. That's awesome. All right. So, do y'all want to see one more game here before we stop? You want to see another game? Something else that came in from JD's collection here, actually. Thanks for selling me this game, JD. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to open it up here for a second. So you're going to see the screen kind of go weird. Don't worry, the stream's not breaking or anything. This is just me resetting the Retron. Returning to the main menu, and you're going to see a game that I think you probably heard me talk about before. It's going to be a little difficult for me to express why this game is so wonderful through the stream, but I'm going to do my best. This is one that eventually I'm going to do a kind of more targeted video on. Here we go. You can hear that. All right, here we go. Not a rare game. Not rare in terms of being purchased. It's also, pardon me, I forgot to talk. Not rare in terms of being made by Rare, nor rare in terms of being hard to find, but one of the best NES games of them all. This is Compiles, The Guardian Legend, published in America by Broderbund. The first time I ever heard this music that's playing right now, coming out of my NES, which would have been around 1990, even though this was an 88, 89 game, I thought that I was in another world. I'm over exaggerating. I could not believe that my NES sound card was making that kind of wood flute sound that's playing right now. It was unlike anything I had ever heard. I didn't believe it was possible. It knocked me on my butt, and it's made a real impression on me. To this day, if I hear the Guardian Legend soundtrack, I get that little chilly, and I know that probably sounds ridiculous, but it's true. As a kid, it made a real impression. So this is Guardian Legend. You play as the Guardian, one of the earliest female heroes in video games, and this game is a hybrid vertical space shooter / Zelda-like adventure. I think it's better just to show you than to tell you. So off we go to Compiles the Guardian Legend, a true masterpiece. We'll start with a new game here. So first off, it's just a simple vertical shooter. Listen to those wood flutes. Do you hear that? The NES cannot do this. Okay, so just a kind of an asteroid coming in. There's not even enemies really coming in. It's just like, whoa, I'm flying through space and it's cool. And now it gets a little more difficult. Enemies start falling here, coming in. And now suddenly the screen gets... If you were not familiar before this with what the NES is and isn't supposed to be able to do, the number of objects on this screen right now with a relative lack of flicker was astounding. Okay, so you see how the level underneath me hasn't quite slowed down a little bit. The thing about the Guardian Legend is you get hit a lot, or at least I do. But those little icons I'm flying over there, if I blast through them, will refill my life. Now, this level does not exist to show the incredible shooting antics of the game. It's just to give me a feel for how the controls work. It's a real training level. So I'm going to sit here and blast my way through these guys with my simple gun. I don't have any special weapons yet. None of that. The game starts really mellow for a shooter, and it's like, whoa, what is that? And you think it's going to be slow. So look at those backgrounds. Again, they're early. This game was designed in '88 in Japan. That's freaking nuts. Now we get a lot of guys shooting at me at once, and hopefully we don't. Okay, this is what we need. We need to get... Oh, crap. We need to get a tile badly, or we're going to die. I am actually playing terribly. I'm not going to get anywhere past the first stage at this rate. But I promise if we can get past... Well, I died on the tutorial to Guardian Legend. There is not enough shame in my heart right now. Okay, wow. I led you astray, everyone. I'm going to do this again and not die. That's so embarrassing. It's not a hard game. I mean, there's parts later on in the game that are hard. But what I want to show you about it is how beautiful it gets and also how it suddenly weirdly turns into sci-fi Legend of Zelda, which is not what you think when you're playing this. And then get to some of the underwater stages where you have some of the most immense, amazing, beautiful boss sprites on the NES and more things going on screen than almost any game outside of Rekka or Crisis Force. I love that sense of speed underneath, just the world zooming by, and then gradually the sense that it's all slowing down. But I am just not playing well right now. Again, I miss my special weapons, but also that's just... I'm terrible at video games. Just letting myself get pummeled way too much. Okay, so these little guns are going to pop up here in a second. Let's kill them. The tutorial's already almost over, so if I could just knock those things off that screen up there, I get to land on the planet, and you'll get to see what the game's actually like. Great music in this game. It sounds so mysterious and beautiful. Absolutely love it. There we go. There's a little life. I didn't grab any of that last time. So that's what you end up taking a fair number of hits in Guardian Legend, and so when that happens, let's try to punch through here and knock out these guns this time. Last time I did not approach this strategically. It's a hint, and I just screwed it up there, but a hint about old shooters, by the way. Something to keep in mind that I don't think is immediately obvious if you haven't played a lot of shmups back in the day. The closer you are, because there's a limited number of projectiles on the screen at a time in most of these, the closer you are to your target, if you like go right up against it, the faster you can fire. So if I hover at the back of the screen, yes, I've got more time to react to his attack. But if I close right up on something, I can shoot more, literally fire more projectiles because they hit the target, and I get a chance to shoot a new projectile more quickly. And that's one of the reasons you see me kind of crowding some of these guys. So I'll come in and just do that, and it's easier to kill. There we go, I needed the heart. That's typically how TGL plays, is you get a bunch of hearts. But once I land, my plane is going to turn into a robot space girl. And my robot space girl, whose name I believe is Maria, the Guardian, will allow me to explore the surface of a mysterious world where I will collect Zelda-like weapons, and then when I go to the dungeons, there are these vast, complex shoot-'em-up areas, all with different unique enemies, themes, music, etc. So it's like a exploratory dungeon. And then they're going to do the victory thing here. All right, everyone's still here? Excellent. Let's see. Reiko Kodama, somebody's talking about. Let's see. Heard people talk about this game a million times. Yep. All right. So here we are. So now I am the Guardian. If someone is finding this, I must have, or reading this, I must have failed. So there's a message on this mysterious planet. This star, Naju, was our home, but we were invaded by evil life forms. Everyone except me was killed. I'm going to try to activate the self-destruct device. If I fail, I'd like you to do this task. So this cannot happen any other way. So I've landed on an abandoned star. The person here before me failed to blow up the planet. It's full of baddies. And so I have to explore the underground corridors and blow the planet up to save the universe. So all I have right now is my basic little space gun. Shoot these to open doors, and all of these are teleport panels that take me to different stages. You can see the map. There's a map screen. The map of this is not the whole world. This is just a tiny, tiny part of the world that you're seeing here right now. You can see I have my XY coordinates there. Chips, which are like currency, but also allow me to power up my attack and shield. And then where it says no use, eventually that's going to be full of all the special weapons I find. One of the things I love about this game is that the special weapons that I'm going to find all over the place have different modes. One for here on the surface, and then another for when I'm a spaceship. So like the weapons I find will be useful here when I fight on the surface, when I'm fighting these guys. But they also allow me to do more in other places. So right there I picked up a rapid fire, I believe. So we could explore these little caves here. Oh look, the blue lander. Hey, I'm going to save. It's a save room. So, and the saves are actually, unfortunately, passwords. Fortunately, I have a Restaurant 5, so I don't have to worry about that. I can say, it's like, yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to do that right now. Heading back up here. Got some more of these little slimy guys that reformed. Going in this one. Let's see what we find in here. Oh, there is a round creature in this room. It will give you items in exchange for power chips. So this is a store up here. The round creature is the blue lander. So if I get 150 chips, I can get this weapon. The problem is right now I only have 50 chips, so I can't do that. Chips are like currency, like I said. That's the blue lander. He's the mascot of IREM. This, however, I can buy right now. So I have a new weapon. So you see down here on my pause screen, got one weapon. I'm going to select it. And I use that with my other attack button. So when I go down, now it doesn't. Let's fire this at somebody. Oh, let's see. So it's like, yep, we don't have any chips to shoot because chips are both currency and ammunition. So we got to get some chips first, and we'll find some. So we explore. Hey, look! A great place to find chips. So there's a big pile of reload right there. And because I have those, now I have a max. The problem is my coin purse. Hey, look, it's E for East. This lets you know which part of the map you're on. I love that. So we'll fire our special weapon, which is this thing. It's just kind of a wave gun that covers a bigger area. It's hardly the most powerful weapon in the game, but it is much more useful when you get in the labyrinths. Now that's a locked door. What you see there is that symbol. I have to have the key with that symbol on it, kind of like Resident Evil. And there's a bunch of symbols. So just blow all these off here. Sometimes you get things when you blow all these up. Sometimes you don't. It just depends. So we're exploring a little bit. What do we have here? Down here. Oh, there's a door that's blocked off. Oh, and some freaking bat monsters. Again, very, very Zelda. Their design. Killed that one. He dropped a little bit of life. Let's see what we find down here. Oh, that one's sealed too. So you get the idea. You find more keys, they open more areas, you find dungeons, you hop down. And so what I want to do is just show you at least one of the first dungeons so that you can, eventually find the coin purse. There's jillions of weapons. And the nice thing is you can kind of save them all up in combat. And so you'll be traveling along underground and, what do we have here? Oh, I set seal 6 very well, you're saying. You will need a special weapon to break it. So that's a little Zelda hint. Oh, and there's another seal I can't open there. Traveling around here. What do we got? Yeah, this is really cool. It's Blaster Master kind of concept. Yeah, let's see. Somebody's asking for more game audio. Yeah, I can give you a little more game audio. Let me step down in the safe room and do that. Absolutely. I keep the game audio pretty low usually, but here we go. How's that? Is that too much? Y'all let me know. How's the game audio? Walking around down here in the room, shooting my gun, listening to the music. What do you say? Game audio, yes, no, too high, too low? What's the word? What's the word? That's great. All right, off we go. Let's go find... Yeah, I love this game. It looks very simple, but it gets redonkulous. It's actually a very long quest. I love that word, redonkulous. So I think we're going here. This is probably the... no, this is just the main room I came into the first time. So once again, you see I have a pretty extensive map, so I can try to figure out... You see that flashing area? I'm going to bet there's something up there we should probably try to get to. But I like exploring and killing little ping pong balls, and so I look around to try to find stuff. I put some of these weapons in boxes, take them out of the boxes to use them. Some weapons have been stolen by some of the life forms. If you need these weapons, you'll have to destroy them. So we're all like in very, very first area kind of stuff here. So my preferred way to play TGL is to be very methodical, and I'm wondering that might be a little frustrating for this for the stream, because this first area is just full of clues and stuff. But I do like finding more chip holders. Yeah, so now we're crossing into a different area of the map. Little transitional rooms. Oh, I got my butt kicked there. Eventually, if we go around, we're going to find some mini bosses that'll pump out at us. That's a very common thing out here in these surface areas. So there's another area I can't get into right there. I just got beat up by those bats pretty bad. Aha! A weapon. Stand over here, kill these guys. I don't have these. I suppose I just ought to use it. I tend to be too conservative with my special weapons in video games. So now we have 2 weapons. And again, there's approximately 6 jillion weapons in the Guardian Legend. We'll just make our way toward this first dungeon. The game's not really designed to be played linearly, so if I explore, I get more powerful. But this will let you get a feel for what it's like. So it's pretty exciting. Here we are. To get in here, I shoot the entrance a little bit, convince it there's little glyphs on it and stuff, and now you get a feel for dude. And I love this animation when I was a kid. I just love the Guardian. Watch this. Space Girl turns into space plane. Love that. And now the beautiful, beautiful underground world of the Guardian Legend. With these fish that come at you from all sides. But I do not fear you, all-side fish, because I have all-side gun now. That's right. Shoots whatever direction I point the stick. And then constantly grabbing new ammunition and new life throughout the level as I expend it. Again, hardly the most beautiful of the Guardian Legend dungeons. The first one, very sparse. Eventually, you have more sprites coming at you than I knew the NES could support on screen. There are moments in the Guardian Legend later in the game where it looks more like a TurboGrafx 16 game than an NES game. It's some of the best graphical trickery I've ever seen on the platform. So I was talking earlier, oh look, I flipped over, you could see her. I was talking earlier about different weapons, so you get a feel for how this is much more useful here. Oh, and seahorses. There's also this whole like undersea theme to the bad guys in this game that I just love. And to combine the firepower of both my weapons. And you constantly adjusting that heart meter to stay alive, the power meter for your weapons. There's a lot going on in TGL. It's not an easy game, although it starts pretty easy. You get to the higher level dungeons, it is punishing, but also really rewarding. And by the time you have like 6,000 weapons active at once, and they're powered up, and oh, I love this guy. Look, he's peeking out. He's like, hello, I'm an eyeball. I'm an eyeball. I'm living down there in the trench, zipping the world open. There we go. I like seahorses. Y'all fond of seahorses? Sea life is cool. Octopi, all the rest. So kind of an early run. One day maybe ought to do an entire run of Guardian Legend, like to show the whole thing off. Some of the crazy bosses, which are the size of the screen, which again for the NES was very difficult to do. It was for shooters on the early NES, kind of like what Mega Man 2 was for like side-scrolling. And Unfortunately, it just did not get a widespread release here. Broderbund didn't really know what they had, I think, and didn't have the embedding to figure out how to sell an NES game. They had primarily up to that point been a PC software manufacturer, so they were not quite. They also published Battle of Olympus here in America, which is a great game. I'm realizing that I keep promising you guys it gets so pretty, and I've forgotten that all that stuff gets saved for later in the game. So, but you seem like a forgiving bunch, so I hope so. Taking this fella out. I appreciate those of you that stuck around for this. I'm taking oh, I accidentally did that. That was not something I meant to do. Seahorses are so much smaller. They get bigger. Yeah, we get some big seahorses, meaning. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Guys talking here. I don't actually artificially speed up on my behalf. Okay, well, I enjoy watching it as it's played. Well, thank you for saying that. All right, well, I'm gonna finish this boss up, and then we'll move on, and maybe I'll speed up playing the game later, or just take us through a long Guardian Legend run. I appreciate you guys showing up. By the way, I'm also very open to advice on how to improve at streaming. This is not in any way, shape, or form my vocation. I do have the Patreon, of course, patreon.com/JaredPetty, but I have no illusions that I am a great streamer. I just like sharing these old games with you, and it's fun. I discovered that talking to some folks in the chat and showing off some little pieces of where stuff came from. If you like, there we go. Here's a big fish. Let's see. So we're going to switch weapons so that we can. Oh, darn it! I hit the Retron button again. Switch weapons so we can. I'm actually more used to having more weapons when I fight this guy, because I usually go through the thing. No, I need the wave gun. I need the other gun that I don't have right now, but that's my own stupid fault. He's not hard to beat. I mean, look at his pattern. I'm impatient. Those little jerks he shoots out of his mouth are actually kind of a pain. But you need them, because that's how you get enough to reload your weapons. These little boxes, which if I'm quick enough, I can use to reload my life and my weapons. And that's a lot of how TGL works, is using bad guy ammunition to. The bad guys do take a lot of hits to kill. I mean, if you can scroll these guys off the screen, you can get rid of them. I may die here. Oh yeah, I failed. That's what I do. I fail. I fail you all. There's always a bigger fish. Oh, Lobo. That's unforgivable. Oh, Lobo. David, I'm sorry you're disappointed by the size of the seahorses. Yeah, it is a Blaster Master kind of concept, but I think really even better in practice. Well, anyway, that big fish is mocking me. I could continue through the labyrinth and fight him again, but I think we've been on here long enough. So thank you, friends, for watching. Again, this is ReCollection, which is all about showing off old games one by one as I collect them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye, everybody.